is Laura Vargas.
My name is Briana Donis, and I am 19 years old.
How long have you battled with this condition, and how did you find out about it?
It's going on 2 years now, in March of this coming up year. And I found out about it through, I guess, signs my body was showing, and we scheduled an appointment. And the doctors diagnosed me that day, March 13th actually, of 2014. And ever since then, here I am.
When did you know, that you just knew that it was serious?
At first, it didn't hit me that it was super serious. My mom was crying in the room, and I was just like, okay, so now what? What's the next step? The seriousness came in when they told me what I wasn't going to be able to do anymore for a while. Go to college really is what really kicked in the seriousness of it. And that I would possibly need a bone marrow transplant and go through chemotherapy and radiation. And that's when it really hit in. And that was not till I want to say 3 months after being diagnosed.
Were you worried that your friends wouldn't understand you not being around?
I wasn't worried that they were not going to understand me not being around. I was really worried they would forget about me. But they were really actually very understanding and coming around actually to me instead of, accepting the fact that I couldn't be around anymore. They were really supportive, especially in the beginning. And then I guess things drag on and people forget. And just oh, she's okay. So.
Have your friends changed, and have your relationships with your family changed?
Yes. My relationships have changed a lot with actually both. I would say more disappointingly with my friends and with my family in a very positive way. It's brought me very, very much closer to them and to a lot of my other family members that before this I didn't get to spend time with or get to know. And my friends they distanced themselves kind of. They moved on. Everybody has a life, really. And they here and there. They text me, ask me how I'm doing, but that's mainly it.
Can you explain the treatments involved for those with an aplastic condition?
So the treatment for anyone who has aplastic anemia or severe aplastic anemia would be, there's two different ways, really. There's ATG treatment, which is where they get horse serum or rabbit serum, and first they inject the horse or the rabbit, depending on what your doctor wants for you, and they inject them with what I think antibody. I don't know what they inject them with actually, but they create antibodies for me, and they give it to us. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. It's just an infusion over 4 days, and you stay in the hospital for about 2 weeks. And then sometimes that just doesn't work for people like me. That didn't work. I went through one ATG treatment, and then it was straight to a bone marrow transplant for me. And that's the second kind of treatment there is. So there's not really many cures for it. And I've had chemo, I've had radiation, I've had tons and tons of medicines, tons of immunosuppressant drugs, even while I was on just the ATG treatment. And then during my transplant, I had to stay on the immunosuppressant drugs. And those are really our only two options to curing it. And the transplants worked.
How did you feel having gone bald for the first time? And how did that affect you?
Woo, that one, going bald for the first time. Okay, So I knew ahead of time that I was going to have a transplant, and anticipating was the worst. Anticipating just like having no hair, because I knew that the chemo was just going to knock it out no matter what. And I actually struggled big time with it. And that's just one of the many things I really struggled with, was going bald. And it took a lot of support from my friends at the time. But once it was actually to that, time where it was like, okay, chemo's hitting, I just wanted it all out. I wanted it gone. I just couldn't wait. I was ready for it, ready for how I was, gonna look, my new look. But after that, it was no issue. It did take a lot of mental strength in preparing for it. That wasn't easy at all.
A lot has happened since we last shot. Do you remember that photo shoot?
Yeah, I do. I remember everyone not picky on me, but teasing me about me being a supermodel or famous, and ooh, she's getting her photo a photo shoot in the hospital. I remember the comments after the photo shoot was done. There were some who took it kind of negatively, and that was just really bothersome. And then it was a really, really, really positive thing for me. I felt extremely beautiful. I felt like a supermodel. Not having hair really made a difference to feel like that, when you feel like you can't be beautiful because of disadvantages or things that happened to you. But I felt beautiful that day.
Was doing the shoot important to you at that time?
Very important to me. Very important because I was raising awareness about not only my situation, but others who are in similar situations. And we targeted so many, not just people with my disease, people who had to go through chemotherapy, and that's all kinds of disorders and illnesses. That's cancer. That's speaking out for the regular person. It's me being able to do that and be such an item for beauty, for confidence. That was very important to me, and it did what we wanted. A lot of girls were really like, wow, it's beautiful, you have so much confidence. I had men saying I was hot while I was bald. Now that's something huge for me, because I'm not used to that, especially not with any hair. Something that women really, it's a part of them. It was a really big confidence booster, not just for me, but for everybody.
Can you tell me in detail one of your toughest moments during the treatment process?
During the treatment process, one of my toughest moments wasn't physical. It was knowing that going through all that I was going to go through, I wasn't going to be able to have kids. And that's something I want so bad. And I don't just want one kid. I want a ton of kids. And I love kids. And for the doctors to tell me that the chemotherapy and the radiation is going to ruin just your fertility and everything, and that you need to start thinking about what you're going to do, if you want to freeze your eggs, or if you just want to find alternative options, or you just want to go on, with the treatment, was very, very, very tough for me to hear, and to have to make a decision like that at 18 years old was extremely very hard. And because of that, my body was forced into a menopause, and I'm gonna probably have menopause very early in my life, and so the chances of me having a kid are even shortened even more. So I have to start thinking about having a kid within the next 5 years, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. Um, there's so much that I want to do, and it sucks having to be like put in that situation. Most kids my age don't have to think about that. Don't have to think about finding someone to settle down with soon, and like feel like they have to, and like they're not free to really make a choice in that, because my choice is to have children. And even at that, who knows if I'll be able to carry. So I have to think about having a surrogate mother, and then I have to find someone who's willing to have my children for me. But I'd rather not do that because I want to go through that experience. I want to have kids of my own. And that would have to be the toughest thing that going through all this has brought upon, because I don't think anything physical could compare to that.
Did you ever feel that you wouldn't make it through this battle?
No, not once. Never felt that. I never thought that I wasn't going to make it through this. It wasn't even in my head. I wasn't worried. I know I'm blessed. But yeah.
So how did you feel?
There were ups and downs to this journey. There still are ups and downs. Overall, I'm very grateful, actually, for my situation. But there are things that I wish hadn't happened, or could have been avoided. But at the end of the day, I tried to bring it back to a positive outlook. But there have been times, because of what I'm going through, and I don't know if it's because of the medication, or if it's because of the stress, or if it's because of something else, but I freak out. I freak out. Not so much anymore, but I freaked out a lot. And when I say like freak out, I mean like throwing things, screaming, crying, yelling, jumping, hitting myself like on things, climbing things, like climbing on this couch or climbing on something else, just freaking out like crazy, because I couldn't handle whatever was coming at me, not so much medically, but family wise, really, yeah, family wise, and just what this situation has brought because of that. But overall, I try to balance it out. But my family really does help, and my friends, and the staff at the hospital, they really do help to mellow me out, and we find outlets to bring me back. I really do think it had a lot to do with the drugs I was on. Yeah, I do.
How do you think Mom and Dad felt having to see you go through the motion?
Oh, how do I think they felt? I know how they felt. They were taking it really, really hard, way harder than even me going through it took it. My mom was always worried, always crying. I found out now that she's, she would go to the restroom and cry. Daddy, I know he's still super paranoid, so I know that it worries him to like extremes. And I know that it can't be easy watching your child go through such a thing. But I would try to ease them up a little. But that's really hard, getting them to just like calm down and understand that, hey, it's okay, I'm okay. But they're a little bit better now with it, especially mommy. Daddy's still my daddy, but that's okay because I'm his daughter and I get it. That's understandable. God telling me that I was healed and that I was gonna be okay, multiple times, not just through me, but through friends and family. Prayers and support made me feel better about it all. Two friends stand out to me when you ask that question, who really have been there for me through the hardest of it all. They made me feel that it was going to be okay, that everything was better, and that I was good no matter what, and to keep my head up. And it's not that there aren't other people telling me this stuff, but it coming from them meant so much more than just anyone. But definitely my support from God and my support from friends and family, really. Mm-hmm.
Take a few minutes. Is there anything that you want to say to your mom, your dad, and your sisters?
Yeah, I guess there is. I would like to tell you, Daddy and Mommy, Mommy and my sisters, and I want to include my grandmother, because she had a lot to do with taking the role of my mom sometimes, and I don't want to exclude that. I want to tell you, I really, really appreciate all that you do, even though I don't show it sometimes. I guess I was thinking there's gonna be a day where I sit you down and thank you, like, after all this is done, and we look back at it and I show my appreciation, but I really should show it a little better sometimes. I want to tell Daddy that I really, really, as much as you annoy me sometimes, that I really do appreciate you shoving food down my mouth, or making sure that I'm okay, or you freaking the fudge out because I'm not wearing my mask when I'm allowed not to. I appreciate it because I know that means that you care. My sisters, I want to tell my sisters, Shai and Lini, that I want to tell you all thank you for being there for me when I've needed you to. And I know that I've hurt y'all really badly before all this, and I want to thank you for forgiving me and for being there when I really needed y'all to be, and to love me and hold me and tell me, Bree, it's okay, or to tell me that I look like a little baby ostrich, or I look like a monkey. I like it all. And to tell me that I'm still pretty and that I still look beautiful has really made a difference to me. And I love all of you. And I want to tell Grandma that I didn't forget what you've done. And I didn't forget all the times that you bent over backwards for me And as much as I didn't show you how much that I appreciated going through it, I want you to know that I really, 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 really am so grateful for you picking up the role of my mother when she couldn't. And that means a lot to me. And you feel to me like a second mother. And sometimes I miss your arms around me when we're going to sleep or talking to you to get advice or just to chit chat. And I love you for being there for me and for putting up with all my stuff, even though I am a brat from hell. But I love you, Gamma. And that's what I would love to say to them. Thank you. I love you. Oh. You know that when I give you an attitude, though, it's like I'm just I don't know, crazy.
No, I know that.
Okay, I pray about it,
I know you're great.
sometimes it just doesn't come into my mind when it's happening.
It's okay.
Okay, don't listen to Daddy. He's like brainwasher. Like, I love you.
I know. I love you too.
You and my toes. No, she doesn't.
So I know you lost a few friends while you were in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
How real is this condition, and how do you feel the loss has changed you?
The I guess reality of this condition is very real. I've had some of my friends, educated friends, tell me statistically that I shouldn't be alive. That he does not understand how I'm still here. That I've cheated death multiple times. Because what I've gone through, people just don't come back from, especially after having a transplant. And actually having two, just very, very, very real, my situation. Any little thing that I could catch. Fungus, I had fungus. And the normal person with a normal immune system, they have fungus. Their body fights it, and it's no big deal. Like, you probably have fungus and you don't even know. I have fungus, and my whole body knows. I had it in my nose and in my lungs, and I couldn't breathe. I felt like actually my lungs had started going in, so collapsing a little, just a little, and we caught it in time. I had fungus all in my nose, and they had to do many surgeries on it, actually. And now I have like a hole in the middle of my nose, and they were scared that my nose was actually going to fall down because of how much cartilage they had to take out of the middle, that it was just gonna droop. I've gone through herpes, EBV. To a normal person, that's not that crazy. But especially for me, it was an admittance into the hospital. I was on isolation, and I didn't get out for how many weeks because of it? Is it like 3?
It was 2.
2?
Yeah.
2 weeks because of that. And just knowing that it could have been worse than that for me, that other things could have started being affected by it, really, it's really scary to hear that, and to know that I could catch a cold or get the flu and may not ever come back from it. In plants, live plants, those could kill me. Soil, dirt, air, everything is not good for me. Now it's okay, some of it, because my immune system's starting to come back slowly. My ANC's a little better, but going through it is the reality of it is not as pretty as I may make it seem. It's tough. My organs are totally just like jacked up. I can't ever take a smoke if I even wanted to, which I don't, because of my lungs and because of all the radiation that I've had. That could possibly kill me, because of the chemo and the radiation that I've gotten before. I may actually, it increases my chances of getting cancer now. Uh, after fighting this, and then to think about it, that, oh, well, there may be cancer for me in the future, skin cancer, even higher, different kinds of cancers, really. Everything is just heightened. I have to watch out for everything. The lining of my stomach right now is like so ridiculous. I can't have lactose anymore, so now I'm lactose intolerant. I guess it's gluten too now. I don't know. I get extreme abdominal pains from eating certain kinds of foods that I never had a problem with before. So it's really hard to like find things to eat because of everything that I've been through. CMV, because of the chemo and the radiation, my immune system's at 0. So anything that I've had before that my body fought in the past and it reactivated now after my transplant comes back, and it's the worst thing for me. I've been going through CMV. It's a virus that it's in my blood, and it makes me like nauseous. It really just, it's like what was it like EBV almost?
Yeah, it was like EBV.
But in the blood. And so it's just something really tough for me to go through that I've been fighting since I don't know, forever now.
And to most people, it's just like it passes within a few days. It's like a common cold to most people, but to her, she's had it since April of this year. So, and she hasn't been able to shake it off. So she's still fighting it at the moment.
I'm still on these very harsh medicines for it. Yeah. I've had to take all kinds of narcotics and drugs through this journey because of everything that's I've gone through, and I know that it's not good for my body, and that it's just they have all of them have their own effects, but it's better than the other choice, not taking them and then having this disease take over or whatever. So I rather take the narcotics.
So I notice you have a short fro going on. Where do you stand in your current condition?
So currently I am much better. So they told me that I am slowly getting better. So that's good. I'm just waiting for them to say, hey, your immune system's doing something. It kind of is. I could probably fight off a little cold right now if I had a cold. My CMV level, which is the virus that I'm fighting, is very stable. So that's really good. I'm trying to gain my weight back. And then after I can get rid of this virus and gain some weight, I can take off my pics that I have. And then that means that I'm a little bit more free, really. I can take a dip in there. I could take a regular shower. I could stand in the rain because that's my favorite weather, and I want to play in like mud puddles. I know that's like disgusting, but when I get healthy, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be in a mud puddle. I'm gonna like drown myself in the bathtub. I'm gonna drown in the water because I can't swim. But I'm gonna do it. But my hair's finally growing in. It went through kind of like a little funky process. Like it would kind of like stop. Sorry, it kind of like stopped growing, and then it would grow, and then it'd stop, and I felt like it'd get shorter, but I don't think it is. It's just some days I have good hair days, and some days I don't. The doctors say that after 1 year post transplant, they think about starting to give immunization shots. Well, 1 year is coming up, so I'm just waiting. They said they've never seen anybody so excited to get immunization shots, but I just know what that means. You know that means I'm good. You know, my body's good enough to handle one of these vaccines or that vaccine, and I'm predicted to go back to school, to college, next fall. So I'm really praying and hoping that that does happen. I'm so ready to just go off. But everything's looking much better. I think I'm even getting a little thicker in my arms. I think. Nobody ever sees it. Ever. I looked at my arms today and I was like, wow, they're fat.
There's some muscle there.
Yeah, right? I'm doing like pro poses and stuff, and I think something's coming in.
Do you think there's enough being done to spread awareness about and help those with aplastic anemia?
There's definitely not a lot. I don't think there is really just a couple that kind of stand out for helping people with aplastic anemia, and really there's like one or two. I mean, but in general, they were raising awareness for bone marrow registries who help people with my disease. But there's not a lot known about this disease, and I really wish that there was. And that's my intentions, is to raise tons of awareness. I just can't wait till I can get onto the world and do something about it.
When you wake up, having gone through so much and seen so much, the loss, the happiness, how do you see each day now?
Totally different eyes. Totally new perspective. I'm grateful for every day. I just, not that I was before, but it is a different perspective now, knowing what is possible. I don't take things for granted anymore. But I do, and it's really hard, like, not to, but there's a lot more that I don't now because of what's happened. I just try to make the best of each day, because you never know when it's someone's last or when everything changes.
Although no one is perfect, how would you describe the perfect mate for yourself now that you have gone through this journey?
The perfect mate for me, he's going to have to be one heck of a guy. I'm telling you. It's going to be really hard because they're going to have to just like really live up to like some high expectations. Man, only God knows who's he's gonna give me, but wishing luck to that guy. It's gonna have to be really big-hearted, very outgoing, very optimistic, very encouraging, very loving, respectful, honest, and loves God. I would say that would be my perfect fit.
What message do you have for kids who haven't learned how to fight or don't realize that they have something to fight for?
Okay, for those kids, I could go on and talk to them forever, really. But you do have something to fight for. Every day, every breath is something to fight for. Anyone that you know is someone to fight for, just fight for yourself. That's one reason that you're stuck with every day, whether you like it or not. Just, there's so much more to life than what you're going through at that moment. And really, you're the one who controls that, your happiness, whether you go about life with a smile or with a frown. That really is all up to you. That's your decision. No one can make you, if you think about it like this, no one can make you sad, and that only you control your own happiness, then you're good. I mean, going around with that confidence is really what'll get you through the day, and saying, hey, I'm going to be all right. Or even telling yourself, because I know I've had to tell myself that, other kids have it way worse. Like, this is nothing. And to think about the outcome of it afterwards, when you're done when you're like, you fought your battle and you've overcome it, that is going to be the best feeling ever. Like, I can't wait till I'm just like over this, and to be the victor over this battle or this struggle, and to just not so much reap benefit, like praise from everyone else, but just to be able to say, like, hey, I did this myself. Not that people didn't help me along the way, but I was the one going through it, and it was up to me whether or not to make the best out of it or to not make the best out of it. And so that's really what keeps me going. And you just got to keep your head up. You really do. And just, no matter how hard it gets, you have to do it for yourself, because you can. There's nothing that you can't do. Really, it's mind over body and mind over matter. And that's really what gets me through. Mind over body. It's just, it's here that controls it, and here, so you just keep it up. That's what I would tell them. I tell them so much more, but we can go on.
Would you like to say anything to those helping or who have helped in the past?
I would like to tell you all, thank you so much. And I know that, I get on Facebook or make a video and tell you how much that I appreciate it, or I may not get to respond to every comment, but I do read them, and I do know what people are saying, and a lot of them really, really touch my heart. And every comment that someone makes, or every encouraging word that somebody tells me, really does make the difference, and really pushes me to keep going too. Like, I can't let them down. I can't disappoint them. I can't give up, because I'm gonna, all these people who are, behind me in this, they're rooting for me. They want me to make it through this. They want me to win. And so to break their hearts, to just be like, oh, who cares? I'm tired. And even though I am, that's not the way I think about things. So you make all the difference too. I guess it's like when celebrities are like, I love my fans, y'all are the best ever. I get it now. It's so true. Like, without y'all, there would be such a difference in just the way I go about things every day. Keeps me positive and gives me something to keep going for, knowing that I could let them down. That's not what I want. So I'm so grateful for you all, and I love you all, from the oldest to the youngest, for the little kids who just love to see me dance and don't necessarily understand what's going on. It just means everything to me. Thank you. I'm going to answer a few questions from Facebook. This one is from Lydia Robston. Sorry if I can't pronounce these things. She's from Robson, Texas. What is the one thing you like to do but have been able to do since your sickness? One of the many things would be to take a regular bath or shower. Weird, but that's one of them. It's from Contessa in Alabama. In what way, with all you've been through, have you been changed the most? My perspective, I think, would be the thing that's changed the most after all I've been through. I feel like I have a new set of eyes and ears, and everything's just different now. It looks different, it sounds different, it feels different, it tastes different too. This one's from Crystal in Texas, in Bel Air. How have you been motivating yourself throughout this past year, and what are your plans for the upcoming year? I keep myself motivated through my faith, through friends and family, and I guess just all my support, really. It's what keeps me going. My plans for the upcoming year would be to go off to college. Hopefully that is my upcoming plans. This one's from Kelly. The whereabouts are unknown. When this is all finally in the rearview mirror and you get back to truly living, what do you want to do when you grow up, or what do you want to be? I want to be someone that makes a difference, someone who changes the world. That's what I want to do. This one's from Briana Donis in Houston, Texas. Will you write a book soon? Not soon, because I have so many other things to do. But I do want to write my own book one day, and I'm gonna see myself on like bookshelves. You're gonna see me too. Sharon from Houston, Texas. What has been the most useful thing / item that you have been given while you have been a patient in the bone marrow transplant unit? The most useful thing? That one's kind of hard, but wow, this one's hard. Useful. Chapstick. I think it's chapstick. Yes, chapstick. This one's from Blanca. What kept you going with such a high spirit even through the tough nights? My faith that it was all just going to be all right. No matter how hard it was, I was going to make it through. So it's just kind of like getting a cut and then just waiting for it to heal. It's kind of how I think about things. This one's from Veva in Houston, Texas. What would be the first thing you would like to do with your family after you recover completely? Travel. I would love to travel. And I don't care what Daddy says about just going on YouTube and seeing places. That's not the same. Sarah from New Braunfels, Texas. Where is one place that you would love to travel to, and why? Okay, so I would love to travel to Thailand because you get to ride a lot of beautiful Ellies out there, and the scenery is just gorgeous, and I just really want to spend like weeks with elephants, so I want to go there. That's where I would travel. This one is from Renata in Houston, Texas. What are some of the positive things that came from this journey that you learned / that might have never happened despite it being so hard? Some of the things that I've learned, positive things, that I've learned to not take things for granted, and to also appreciate everything, and not just like family or friends, but to appreciate the wellness of my body or of my situation actually, and meeting people actually is one of the positive things I've taken from this. Another one is from Anna in Houston, Texas. How did you feel when you found out about aplastic anemia, and how many people have you met with the same blood disorder? When I found out about aplastic anemia, I was like, what the heck is this? Didn't know about it. Then I met two people, actually, more, but two main ones that had aplastic anemia during my journey, and I lost them both. But I learned a lot from them. They're beautiful spirits, and that I'll never forget them. They're my angels. This one's from Adrian. Not sure if you do, but what if you believed in God before you were ill? Has this affected your faith in a positive or negative manner? I did believe in God. I always have, and it affected it very, very positively. I don't think I would have gotten. I know I wouldn't have gotten through this without Him in my life. So my faith is very important. Monica in Houston, Texas asked, what are your plans once you beat this? To go off to college and to start my life and do things in the world. And that's it. Thank you. I want to give a special thanks and shout out to Ieko Media. Go follow them on Facebook. He's really done a lot for me, actually, Jamil Bowling. And I hope that you really, 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 really enjoyed what we've done here. And feel free to share and like crazy. Thank you all for taking your time. I love you. Is that okay? Okay.